Mr. David Slone, and this year with KVEC, my grant was titled Computation Migration. Problem of practice I had was students are being faced to work at home without calculators. Majority of students struggle with basic math computation that I have anyway. And students in my class, some of them have IEPs and they have math, and they'll have that box checked. So they could be SOD in math or they could be of MMD diagnosis. So anyway, they have those accommodations when performing school-based tasks. So if they're in a different setting, my thesis behind everything was that they should still be able to have those calculators when they transition to home or wherever they're at working. So if a child gets a calculator in class, why not have that luxury for all geographic locations? And I know with this COVID-19 epidemic, some kids, I've seen some of them work at McDonald's with Wi-Fi. I've seen them at home, at grandparents' houses. And now another thing too is you can actually use your Chromebook. That's a tangible that you have that has a calculator for you. But the reason I didn't want to take that route is if you take a standardized test, whether it be a K-Prep test, CATS test, if your accommodation box is checked for a calculator, you can't use your Chromebook. Now, if you have the calculator, you can use that tangible, okay? So the calculators that I got was the TI Inspire CX2, and the function of that is to serve as a form of RTI and to fulfill IEP compliance. I think fulfilling IEP compliance, first and foremost, is the big rocks. As William Covey would say, that's something you have to do, and it's mandated that you do that. But what this thing will do is as I stated earlier, it provides math accommodation across multiple learning locations. It helps students with math discrepancies find competence with new math principles. It will enhance being productive in other disciplines that require math. I know science has a lot of mathematics. They kind of run hand to hand if you're trying to find velocity or those other equations. And the more familiar that you get with your tangible, like I said, that could increase testing scores, okay? So question one, what did the research tell you about what might work, and why did you choose the solution or strategy you did? The more you use something, the better you get at it, okay? And students will begin to learn math facts, and they'll learn how to manipulate that tangible. And I think it'll help them be more competent with new math principles. Also, this Inspire calculator is a great way to help students compute basic expressions. So like I said, you're targeting the primary lifespan with this. But the big thing is this thing will also do higher level math concepts such as graphing and other processes. And I know you guys are probably saying, well, Mr. Slone's an elementary educator. Why is that so important? Well, with the guys that I have right now, I'm anywhere from 2nd to 6th grade. And within those grade differences, there are a wide range of differences with the curriculum mapping. So I know a lot of your 6th grade kids and stuff, they're actually doing some basic algebraic expressions, whereas, your younger guys are more concretely learners. They're more concrete. They're doing basic addition, subtraction, and all that stuff. So no matter what really age group that you throw at them, these calculators, they can get the stuff done for you. 3 basic facts that I came up with when writing this grant. And so fact 1 is it says IEP recipients with calculator accommodation are mandated to get that tangible when doing math-related work, right? Number 2, IEPs are a binding document that special education teachers must abide by to meet compliance. Fact number 3, the better students understand how to use their accommodations, the greater their test scores could be, okay? Like I said, all of you guys are familiar with the public school system. Test scores, that's a big deal. Okay, question 2, what is your processes for implementing this, and how will you know if it is a success or not? Okay, so here's what I came up with: testing productivity of grant or the calculators. How I'm going to implement this is to take baseline data from Ed Minimum and the Brigance examination to show the starting point before the Inspire calculators are introduced. And another thing, not really looking at being productive, and I know that you really can't measure this, but I guess you can, is reflecting on math grades from the first 9 weeks, okay? Or, even looking at last year. And what we have to take into consideration is if these kids were denied that accommodation, what would their test scores be? Okay. You know, if a C average student, if you take their accommodations away from them, they could possibly be failing. So just that these students are passing their course and shipping down the assembly line, I think that's something that we really need to kind of reel on as well. So some pros of this TI Inspire calculator is, like I said, you know, it's kind of a reoccurring theme for me in this grant was it gives students accommodations for math, computation, and all work locations. Save school money from not having to loan out tangibles. You know how it is, you know, if you loan students calculators, they might not bring them back. And if you look across, you know, across the district, if you've got, you know, I know our high school's pushing 5A. If you give every student just at the high school a calculator, you're looking at probably $50 to $100 a unit. You multiply that per head, and you've ate a lot of money. This calculator has a computer algebra system, color screen display, rechargeable batteries, faster than the prior model, animated path plots, dynamic coefficient values, programming code programs, geometric figure animation, data quest application, spreadsheet features. So really, in essence, it can do a lot. Unit price, these are $143.99 a unit from Amazon. And like I said, you know, we're a one-to-one school district within Johnson County, and that'll also place me at one-to-one with each of my students in my classroom setting.
Hello, this is Chalice Slone. I am kind of helping David Slone out with a grant that he had. He had changed jobs, so he's no longer with us. Wanted to talk about the calculators that we got. They are the Texas Instrument calculators, these. The calculators seem to help a whole lot. We used 3 different math placement tests with the calculators and then without the calculators. We used the first one that we used, the math placement test we used was called Life Pack. And without the calculators, the average grade level was 3.575. And with the use of the calculators, the average grade level was 5.7. So that was quite a big jump. It just helps the students with some of the basic skills that they have trouble with. The second one that we used was called Math UC, and the average grade level without the calculator was 3.55 on that one, and then with the calculator, the average grade level was 5.4. So once again, it was a big increase using the calculators. Just helped with the fluency of a lot of stuff. A lot of the time these kids just have trouble with the basics. And if they can get that stuff out of the way through the use of a calculator, they can go on to bigger and better things. And the third and final grade placement test that we used was called Mammoth Math. And without the calculator, the student scored an average grade level of 3.5. And with the calculators, they had an average grade level of 5.5. So through all 3 of the placement tests, there was almost a full 2 grade level difference in using a calculator and not using a calculator. So that was really nice. Like I said, a lot of times our kids just have problems with basic math. This, through the use of calculators, it eliminates that small part, goes ahead and lets them go on to multi-step problems, and lets them go on to, like I said, more complex math. The use of the calculators really helped. I really liked them. The great thing is there's so many things they can do on a calculator. It's not just a basic calculator. They can use them to graph and do other things. Another great thing that the kids liked was, or well, probably I liked more than that, was a lot of times the kids will try to use their phones for calculators and they're on everything. Through the use of just a calculator, it eliminates that issue in a classroom. With the calculators being sort of multifunctional, the kids often, you know, they all bragged on them and really liked using them just because they could kind of play around with them some and see the different features that were on the calculators. That's about all that I have. Thank you.